welcome dear viewers to another brand new video here on the Cars Universe Belgium YouTube channel. The second video in 1 week time, believe it or not, which is definitely the shortest period of time that I ever uploaded 2 YouTube videos in. And to be honest with you guys, I didn't even know that I was actually capable of doing this. But yeah, I'm doing it now, so there we go. And also, this is a brand new format of video that I haven't tackled before on my channel. It is when some news or some groundbreaking reveals that are groundbreaking enough for me to yap and to give my unsalted opinion about here on my channel. And yeah, we just kind of talk about it and see what's actually new, what makes it so special, and yeah, just give my opinion, some stuff like that. And that's exactly what I'll be going to do here today. For as you all are probably most likely already aware of right now, that the infamous 2025 Diecast Mainline poster or checklist, however you want to call it, has been revealed this Tuesday, literally out of the blue. It came out of nowhere. It's also probably the most niche way that the poster has ever been revealed, or that it even can be revealed in, because I don't know if you guys are aware of how it happened, but as far as I know, it was first leaked in the Cars community Discord server of all places, when there was this random guy. I'm sorry if I call you random, but yeah, this is just the impression that I get, because he wasn't really active at all in the server. But yeah, he just came up in the chat and he sent a picture of the poster in bad quality, and with the words quoting, "Mattel sent checklist 2025 to me on Instagram." Like, how on earth is that even possible? I swear, over the past years, all the years that I have been a cars collector and that I have been on Instagram, I have spammed Mattel with so many suggestions for the Cars Diecast line, or for complaints about wrong packagings or wrong artworks. And they never even bothered to give me like an automatic reply at the least, or to give like a reference to send my suggestions and stuff to their website or something. No, they never. They always bothered. They always ignored my my messages. And then this guy, he just asked for the poster, and somehow he actually gets it sent to him from Mattel directly. But yeah, he just came up with it in the server, and bam, he made groundbreaking news into the cars world that he may not even be aware of what he has caused right now for chaos. But I think it's positive chaos. It might be negative chaos for you. It's up to your own interpretation. But yeah, let's break it down today, shall we? Okay. I put the poster here in front of us, and let's start off here from top to bottom. I will not go through all of them, just the main attractions here. Starting off here with the annual selection of Cars 1 Piston Cup racers. They still manage to release a nice variety of Piston Cup racers that haven't seen the light of day in a good while, like Chuck Armstrong, Billy Oil Changer, and also Claude Scruggs. They haven't been released as a single at least since 2020, so that's 5 years ago. Especially Claude Scruggs and Billy are the real classic racers that were one of the first Piston Cup racers to be released in general, like as Cars Diecast in 2006 and 2008 2007, I believe, also Billy. So yeah, it's nice to see them back. Even though Chuck and Billy were released in multi-packs, I think, over the past 3 years, but those are always harder to come by, so I wouldn't really count them as recent releases in that regard. Then we also have Floyd Mulvale, Dave Alternators, and WB Rutherford the GOAT returning for 2025. But compared to the first 3 Piston Cup racers that I just talked about, those 3 here are nothing too special, because they have been out recently, I would say. So in total, at least in terms of the Piston Cup races, that there are no carryovers from last year, which is a very great thing, because as I mentioned before, some of them really peg-roamed out of our ears last year. So it's great that they take a break and that Mattel instead gives us some long-awaited Piston Cup racers, especially the next three here that I'm going to be talking about, which very possibly might be the highest anticipated releases, or at least re-releases from the entire Diecast mainline this year. I know I have heard so many people that are clamoring for them to finally get their first Thailand release, but in fact, those haven't been released by Thailand yet. Those are the only three Piston Cup races, of course, not including Apple Car and Dale Earnhardt Jr., because of course they can be released due to legal reasons and because they are actually based off real life companies. So yeah, some issues about licensing that they can't be released again. However, those three are the only fictional companies, fictional sponsors from cars. Of course, they can get released, and they haven't been from Thailand until now. For 6 years, 6 years later, they will finally be released. Ernie Gearson is the only one that we have seen so far in person. Ryan Shields from Viewzine have been revealed actually Tuesday too, out of the packaging, but hasn't been revealed in a case or in a packaging. And then finally, Eugene Carbureski, probably the one that everyone was looking forward to the most. Number 36, sponsored by Tankcoat, is finally returning too, which completes the entire fleet of Thailand Piston Cup races, which is so nice to see. This is a really, really great decision on Mattel's part. I mean, they have literally answered half of the community its prayers. Everybody wants to see these guys. Finally, they're getting released this year after waiting so long. So phenomenal choice there. And I can't wait to see how they will look like from Thailand, because Ernie is already an improvement compared, Jesus Christ, to his China variant. So I'm hoping Eugene and Ryan Shields will be like that too. Let's move on to a few other new Thailand variants that we will be getting this year. Starting off here with Pit Crew Sarge. I don't know why they omitted the word member, but okay, it should be Pit Crew member Sarge. Of course, nice to see him back, but nothing special as he is a slightly different expression. And of course, especially the little oil tank accessory is the element that makes him unique from the regular Sarge. Maybe from Thailand it will be the same one as a regular Sarge. We're yet to see him out of the packaging, but we already knew about him because his in packaging prototype or stock image was already revealed a few months back. The same is for Lightning Ramone here from the same scene, final race of Cars 1. And this one has actually already been released in stores from Case S, I believe. Case NPQRS, the fifth case of the year, with Jonathan Gearson and Acer, two cars which we'll be talking about in a few minutes here. Lightning Maroon, from what I've seen, the reviews and the pictures, he looks to be an improvement from his original China variant. So that's of course great to see. In the same category also belongs My Name Is Not Chuck with Card, and other very highly anticipated re-release that we'll be finally getting this year, and also an iconic character from the first Cars movie. Of course, Lightning McQueen's Pity has some iconic lines, so of course he was really due for a re-release, and we finally got it this year. Of course, the Piston Cup Pities are always popular among the Cars fandom. Phenomenal to see him back this year. I will definitely be picking him up, even though I already have two of him. But that's been like a decade ago since he was released, I think. I'm not completely sure on that, but I think his last release was in 2015, at least as a single, because he already got released in an 11 pack in 2021. Of course, it's been too long for him, so great, very great to see him back. Something to note here is that this release does have the tool gun that distinguishes him from his original release from 2008, which is plain forks, like without any tool gun or anything, and not the cards, because Mattel emphasizes the card here, but the card, he has always been included with a card, even in the multi-pack. Even in the multi-pack, is it true? That might not be true. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, always when he was released in single, he always had the card. He always had the card. He did not always have the tool gun. So I don't know why they do that. But yeah, this is the second single release of Nutchuck with tool gun. The same applies to the only actually unique Lightning McQueen variation, not including any off-screen variations. Only any expanded universe Lightning McQueens. Lightning McQueen with Shovel is also returning for 2025, a release that has kind of increased in value over the years. Nothing too drastically, but still, he was I would say not too easy to find lately, but that will change when he is coming back from Thailand though in 2025. A very great re-release, and once again here I also hope that they correct him a little bit too compared to his China variant, like his shovel should be yellow, for example, even though I don't think that is the case because his stock image has also been revealed a month ago, and I don't believe that the shovel had a different color, but still, very, very welcome addition to the line here, and of course, I'm excited to get him as well. And then the final two new Thailand variations from Cars 1 that we'll be looking at here is a true inseparable duo that for some reason Mattel has always tended to release together in some shape or form because they always release them each other, whether it is in the same 2-pack, whether it is just in general in the same year. In 2025, they are released in the same year too, and to make it even more crazy, they have made their first appearance in the same case also, in case R, which is at the time of speaking being found in some Target stores over the United States. Yeah, of course, we're talking about JW and Christina Wheeland here. Who could it be else? So this is indeed her first Thailand release, just like JW, which has taken longer to be released again since 2027 when both of them were in a 2-pack together. And yeah, of course, it's nice to see them too. I would say from all the new releases, these are maybe the least interesting ones because they are just common as well, even though they haven't been released in quite some years now. They're still pretty common on eBay and just online in general. But still nice that they release those, especially in favor of the OG Piston Cup races like Darla Vanderson, like Matthew True Blue McCrew, like Timothy Truestroke, which were released in 2022, and they were probably the biggest peg warmers that the mainline after Jaisaki has ever known. So yeah, it's great that they don't release those again, but that they take a different approach and release those two Piston Cup fans for this year. So yeah, very welcome additions to the mainline as well. And yeah, I'm sure they will be popular more than the fans from 2022. At last, let's talk about a few odd ones out here in the lineup. First of all, freaking Slim Hood that finds himself in the Cars 1 section. And even more silly is the fact that Jodon Jackson, so to put it into context, Slim Hood and Jodon Jackson are two 1950 Piston Cup racers that both appear in a flashback scene in Cars 3. They both are in that same scene. They both basically appear at the same time, yet they are placed 2 movies apart. Where is the logic in that, Mattel? I mean, I even like to come up with at least a little bit of logical reasoning why they did this. Might be because they confused Slim Hood with Fabulous Hudson Hornet. I know this is very far-fetched, but I can come up with any other reason how they could mess this up so bad. Like, those two are so close to each other, so the same. They're not different other than their paint job and their name. So how did they get it into their heads to separate them and to put them in the completely wrong movie? I'm baffled. Like, it makes zero sense. Because of course Slim Hood belongs to the Cars 3 section. Where else? Alright. enough frustration. Let's get a little bit more frustrated because Mattel only decided to include 3 poor Cars 2 releases this year entirely. Like, looking at the 2-packs, there's not one 2-pack that has any Cars 2 characters in there. It's just 3 singles being, okay, granted, 2 of them are 2 that have been very long awaited and that haven't been released in even more than a decade at this point. So even those 2 characters belong to the top 10 easily, borderline top 5 best re-releases of the entire year, alongside the 3 Piston Cup racers. It's still criminal regardless that there are only 2 of the 3 Cars 2 characters that we will be seeing this year. Oh yeah, and talking about criminal, of course, the 2 characters that I am implying are the 2 main henchmen of Professor Z that do have, I would say, quite a prominent antagonist role in Cars 2, being Grem and Acer. It's really so cool to see them back this year. They are way too significant of a character that it takes 10 years, like no, even more, like 12 years almost, for them to get re-released again. It's crazy how long it took for Mattel to finally have the guts to release some bad guys from the Cars 2 movie, from the Lemons. And I'm so glad that they finally took the shot this year. So we'll be seeing Grem and Acer back. They both already have been released. Acer is now all over the United States. He's also, like I mentioned a few minutes before, in Case S with Jonathan Gearson and Lightning Ramone. Grem is in Case T, I think the case after Case S, with Fishtail and I think Lightning McQueen with Shovel, which are now slowly but surely also getting into the US, but they were first massively reported in Asia, in Malaysia to be exact. So absolutely phenomenal re-releases and new Thailand variants there, because from the first pictures that I have seen, they look to be very, very great coming from Thailand. But unfortunately, then also everything has been said about Cars 2 this year. So I really hope that at least Cars 2 gets a little bit more representation next year. I know it's really hit all-time low because of the GRCs 2, which of course are also going to be returning this year, spoiler alert, but they are of course about Cars 2 characters. So, that kind of compensates each other, but still though, 3 from like the regular movie, not counting any expanded universe lines, is like, it's terrible. Cars 2 is not that bad. I mean, it's, even for me personally, it's a very great movie, but it's not that bad rated that it only deserves 3 cars in the mainline. I'm sorry, but I really hope that it changes next year, especially for the anniversary. Come on, you have to get, I know it's the Cars 1 anniversary, but come on, you have to give some love to Cars 2 as well, in my opinion. Then Cars 3 looks to have had the same fate as Cars 2 had in the past 3 years, at least to some extent, hitting an all-time low in terms of representation in the singles mainline, with just 8 different characters from Cars 3, including Slim Hood. That surely is the lowest amount that we have gotten ever since the inauguration of the movie in 2017, and also the Cars 3 mainline in 2017. So that only shows even more that the main focus this year is really on Cars 1 again, and also, of course, on the race and rescue sideline. Granted though, Cars 3 does have some representation in the 2-pack line with 3 different combinations of 2-packs, which will be coming back at later in the video. But that being said, it still does have a few very, very elite re-releases in the mix, just like Cars 2, and even more valuable than Grem and Acer from Cars 2. Especially High Impact here, which was one of the last new characters to be released from China in 2018. But Mattel has never ever revisited him, or her, I should say, from Thailand until this year. And it was about damn time, because over time, High Impact has reached a value of over 100 euros or $100. It's the same. One thing that's for sure though, that it's a lot for just one car. So the more grateful everybody is, I think, that she is finally returning for this year. That finally and we can finally get her for a normal retail price again. So yeah, that's great, of course. And next to him, we have another very, very great Tunnel Hollow Derby racer that is long overdue, being Fishtail. Fishtail debuted in the initial 2017 mainline and has been completely forgotten ever since by Mattel. Hasn't been released in any of the subsequent years until, of course, you guessed it, 2025 this year. Fishtail is coming back, first release from Thailand to first release in, what's that, 8 years? 8 years, wow. So yeah, very great to see him back too. He hasn't reached the 100 price tag just yet over time, Fishtail. He definitely has become harder to find over the years, so the more the better that he is coming back this year. For the rest of the Cars 3 lineup, nothing too exciting. Joe Don Jackson returning from 2021, like I said when talking about Slim Hood, and also Cam Spinner is one re-release to note, also his first release since 2022. So it's good that we're taking some distance from Cars 3 this year, even though once again, like I argued about Cars 2, I hope that Cars 3 also gets a nice selection of releases for the 20th anniversary of the entire Cars franchise next year. Continuing on with the Cars on the Road section here, and in my honest opinion, Cars on the Road has become really irrelevant this year, which is a good thing to many people, because the biggest complaint that was present in the community in the past 2 years that Cars on the Road has dictated the mainline is that it was too much Cars on the Road. Everything was Cars on the Road. All the new releases, except 1 or 2 every year, was Cars on the Road team that was from the series. And this takes a drastic turn this year with just 1 new release from Cars on the Road, which we'll be taking a look at later. But yeah, still in general, this year the Cars 2 or the Cars on the Road lineup just consists of cars that have been released last year or the year before, so that are really nothing special at all, nothing new even in the slightest. Even though it must be said, some of them like Logan Gearson, Barney Cohen's Margaret Mordaway, some that were released later on last year in 2024, especially those cases had worse distribution than the cases that were earlier released in the year. So it's kind of good that they are coming back, so that people, especially the Americans that really had a hard time finding those later cases of 2024, that they have a new chance to get those late releases, new releases from Cars on the Road. But still, for the majority of people who also in the meantime could have just bought them online, those are nothing really too interesting. But yeah, Cars on the Road is just like every other movie and series part of the mainline, so of course they deserve to be here. I don't have any complaints with them, and are we happy that Cars on the Road got shafted? I don't know if it's for better or for worse. To be honest, it's for worse, because Cars 1 and Cars 2 and Cars 3 still don't have any new releases, not one more than last year. So what are we gaining here of getting Cars on the Road shafted? Like, we're getting from zero, from not zero, from 1 new release from the movies, and how many, 20 new releases from Cars on the Road 2. Okay, Cars on the Road is gone, everybody happy, but we're still with 1 new release just from the movies. Like, in some way it would have been an improvement if we got many new releases from the movies, many new releases from the Toons, but no, this is obviously not the case. That totally is not better than what it was, in my opinion. But yeah, let's not waste too much time on COTR here. I already highlighted the main highlights of this year's COTR lineup, but other than that, a few nice re-releases early in the year from last year, like President Mater, Chris Freeman, and especially Cave Mater as well. But I would assume that most collectors already have those. They had also been included in multiple cases last year, unlike the first 3. And also Cryptobuster Line McQueen is a nice addition to the lineup as well. Alright, that concludes Cars on the Roads. Let's continue with the Cars Toons realm here, where we will be dropping the very first bombshell of the video, guys, so stay tuned for that. But we're starting off slowly here with a few welcome re-inclusions from past years, like Drift Party Mater, first released from Thailand in 2023, also revealed to be coming back this year. Next to fan favorite Komodo from last year, 2024, also coming back for 2025 here. Next to those two, we have two brand new Thailand variations once again, continuing the streak of at least two new Thailand variations from Cars 2, Cars 3, now also from Cars Toons in Kyandee and Cho. Two, of course, like all characters that are nowadays released from Cars Toons are from Tokyo Mater. Two background characters that were last released in the Walmart exclusive Cars Toon line, if I remember correctly, running from 2013 to 2017. So it has been quite a while since we've seen those two characters as well. So, of course, always nice to see them back, especially the Cars Toon characters, which weren't used to be released frequently in the past. But there is the catch. It should have had been a trio of new Tokyo Mater Thailand variants. And it was planned like that too, clearly, because from the case lists that Mr. Docket received from Mattel or from the distributor, I don't know where exactly he gets them from, but in his case list, Bye Bye Car, the Tokyo Mater character that goes for the highest price online, was set to be released in 2025 too, alongside Kyandee and Cho. Even more, she was planned to debut in Case V alongside the very first wave of Race and Rescue releases. It was all sunshine and rainbows around Bye Bye Car. I mean, Disney Docket, or I should say Mr. Docket, first announced her return in a reveal video, only strengthening the belief that she will be returning this year, even though we still hadn't got any like prototype images or stock images in the packaging. And then bam, out of nothing, the bombshell dropped. The mainline poster that we're talking about in this video. I challenge you guys, if you find Bye Bye Car on there, I give you my entire collection, like no debate. But I challenge you, try to find it. But I promise you, she's nowhere to be seen. She is not on the poster. And of course, the eternal optimistic side in myself still gives it a 10% chance that Mattel simply might have just forgotten to include her on the poster. I mean, it happened in the past too, multiple times, that they forgot to add a specific release from that year into the entire collection of releases that were released that year. But I wouldn't count on it because it's just not a background character. It's like, yeah, I would say a pretty significant release of the year. I don't think that one would be the first one to be forgotten to be on the poster. Even though you could argue that, I mean, Bye Bye Car has a similar paint scheme to Cho, so they might have messed up there, but I really wouldn't count on it. That's why also a 10% chance is really not likely. So I don't mean to give you guys some impossible hope here, but I mean that's what's on my mind. I think it could. There's still a possibility that will be the outcome after all. But we'll see. I think the next month will reveal the answer. Of course, she was planned to release not too far away from now. So yeah. If it's not, then of course it's a really big bummer. It's one of the biggest disappointments of the year, I would say, to see her canceled. Because like I said, she's the rarest Tokyo Mater release, one of the rarest Cars Toons releases in general. She goes for more than 120, just to give some context of how big deal this is. 120 she goes for on eBay. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, really. Bye bye car. Gone, but never forgotten. I also want to go over the GRCs here real quick, even though they are by far the most redundant cars that are a part here of the mainline, because it would have been a completely different scenario didn't they have canceled the 4 remaining GRC version that we were still in need of? Those being, first of all, GRC Jeff Corvette, GRC Lewis Hamilton, GRC Rip Klitschkonski, and GRC Nigel Gearsley. Those 4 would make the GRC line complete. And I know that Mattel is capable of making those last 4 remaining GRCs. In fact, the listings for 3 of those, I think all of them except Nigel, were leaked out of the Walmart inventory, once again by our hero Training Cars Kato1. So they were actually planned to be released this year too, but can't once again, I swear. Mattel only really cancels all the best stuff this year. First Bye Bye Car, now the GRCs. I really don't know what's going through their minds making this decision, because especially I can barely name any haters of this line. Almost everybody that I know and that I've seen talking about this line was positive about it, was a fan of the paint jobs and the designs that they were giving the old World Grand Prix racers. Everybody was a fan that they were including Jackson Storm and Cruz Ramirez, because why also not? This had so much more potential and so many fans that it's criminal to not finish this line. There's so much more, so much potential that is not fulfilled with this. Of course, I would say it's not completely over at this point. I think there is still a chance that those will be coming next year, that they're postponed to next year. But come on. These already released GRCs from last year that are returning this year for really no reason, because there are no new ones. So why would you bring them back if there are no new ones? I don't get it. Again, the only good reason that I come up with is because most of them, especially Cruz and Max, that were in the last 2 cases of 2024, which had bad distribution, that many people, especially the Americans who missed out of them, that they have a new chance to get them now. That's literally only reason I can come up with why this is an advantage for the 2025 mainline. Other than that, they really just had to get rid of them, like for real. There's no use in bringing them back. While GRC Lightning McQueen is only going to peg one more and to occupy more space for new cars in our stores. With this being said, we have finally come through the entire singles collection from the 2025 Diecast Mainline. One reoccurring theme over the entire year is, I would say, Elite re-releases. This is the thing that so far has defined the year. I need more than both the 2 of my hands in order to count all the re-releases and new Thailand variations that are coming out this year, that are more than just solid re-releases, that are great re-releases, excellent re-releases. But yeah, that just goes for show what an amazing and hardly ever seen before lineup of re-releases and new Thailand variants that Mattel will be serving us in 2025 here. Yeah, I think they really knocked it out of the park with the re-releases this year. So props to Mattel for their decision making this year, for their inventivity. Is that a word? Inventivity, to come up with new characters that they know that the public and the audience, that they are waiting for these characters to be released again. And yeah, some new ones that they haven't touched on in years, to bring them back, to put the effort to make new molds, even though they're not new by any means. They're not new releases, no new characters, but new from Thailand production. So yeah, outstanding job, I would say, from Mattel there. And those new releases really elevate the entire year from, I would say, complete failure. Why is that, you would say? Well, as you probably have noticed now, the only Cars diecast that we really have been talking about here in the last 40 minutes, too long again, I know, but they're only re-releases, only Thailand variants. But isn't it the new releases, the new characters, the new versions that are released, that used to be released every year and in frequent numbers, that really decide, that really make or break the mainline? I think so. I really think those are the main focus points. Those are the most important pillars of a year, of a diecast year. If you want to build, you first need the pillars. You first need the new releases, and then you can do all the extra stuff. Like sidelines, like new Thailand variants, like we've just talked about all the time. So yeah, I think that's really important, and that's the number one critic point for myself to 2025, and I think for the majority of the community, that this is really what 2025 is lacking: new releases. In total, it's probably not a secret for anyone watching anymore, but I don't know, I like to be mysterious about things. But yeah, indeed, 2025 only counts 2 poor new releases. Those 2 are, first of all, let's start with I would say, the one where the least people are looking forward to. Still many people, including me, but that is not the most desired one of the 2, being Jonathan Gearson. And as I said, he is the only new character from Cars on the Road that we'll be getting this year. Jonathan is one of Bella Cadaver's movie assistants from the B-movie episode in Cars on the Road, and at the time that this video is uploaded, he is already being found in the wild, especially in US targets and also in German Mullers, I believe. In, of course, case S, the first case that he or she debuted in, alongside, as I already mentioned before, Acer and a Lightning Ramone. But yeah, of course, the most important thing here is that she finally got released and that we can finally cross her off our lists. That being said, her diecast, from, at least I haven't found her in person yet, so I know it's maybe a little bit early to judge for myself, but from what I've seen already from videos, YouTube videos, and pictures on Instagram, is that she left me a tad bit disappointed, to be honest. First of all, because I think the color is inaccurate, her body color, because her diecast has like a light gray color, while in the movie she has more a metallic dark gray color, in my opinion. So yeah, I think they couldn't have done better there. Also, her earpiece is, at least it looks to be, ripped off literally from the Trainer Cruiser Mirrors release, and yeah, that doesn't work. Those are 2 different body models. The BMW that Jonathan is much longer. There's more space between the side view mirror where the earpiece is attached to, at least behind the side view mirror, and the front wheel. So what makes the earpiece way too short, in my opinion, because I mean, an earpiece should be close to the mouth, right? But on her earpiece is way too far from the mouth. It might still work, but it shouldn't be like that. It's also from the movie, and in the artwork, it's also much closer to her mouth. So I think they kind of messed up there too. But overall, I think that this is still a very great release, and that we all should be grateful that we have at least one new character from Cars on the Road. But fortunately, between all the negativity and all the pessimism regarding the lack of new releases this year, there is still always one little glimpse of light. And that little glimpse of light is that there is still, among everything, one new release from the movies. And what a new release it is! None other than the long-awaited, the previously cancelled Fiber Fuel crew chief named Masha Ellswrench, unlike the previously assumed name Andrew Butts. Masha Ellswrench is indeed the name given to the Fiber Fuel crew chief that will be getting released officially, because she also already has been revealed in the packaging. In fact, here you see it in front of you on the screen. So there's no doubt of any possible cancellation in this case. No, just chill out. We are 100% sure that we'll be able to see the Fiberfuel Crew Chief in stores this year. 6 years after her initial release got canned in the 2029 mainline alongside Takumin Crew Chief, which got released next year. And this also keeps the streak alive, I believe, since 2020, of every year that there at least one cancelled car diecast that was previously cancelled getting uncancelled this year. So this year it's the title will be going to Fiberfuel Crew Chief. Last year it was of course Takumin Crew Chief. 2023 it was, I believe it was Kabuto with Flames. 2022 it was Dana Crankoff, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's obviously very great news on its own. And yeah, the fact that the Fiberfuel Crew Chief is finally getting released this year is absolutely phenomenal, because who doesn't love the Piston Cup pit crews? And Mattel knows that, because they have been treating us now with 2 consecutive years where new Piston Cup crew chiefs have been released. And I totally wouldn't be surprised if that streak also continues into 2026, just like the uncancellation streak, when they decide to finally uncancel the final crew chief of the trio of Fiberfuel, Taco and Transberry Juice that got canned in 2019. So yeah, Transberry Juice Crew Chief for 2026. It's all in the cards in my opinion. So yeah, that will be even more awesome to see. But for now, we'll do it with Fiberfuel Crew Chief, which is just fine, of course. As you have just seen, she is also already revealed in the packaging, and also the case that she will be in, or at least make her first appearance, will be in case U of 2025, which will be coming out, I think, somewhere in the late spring this year. So yeah, I'm totally looking forward to that. Her diecast looks great out of the packaging. It's the exact model. It's the perfect shade of color, I would say. Yeah, nothing to complain here, unlike with Jonathan Gearson. The only thing here, of course, is the artwork. That was another bombshell Mattel dropped in the Cars community recently, when the Fiberfuel Crew Chief got revealed in the packaging, and the artwork just appeared to be completely wrong. Here is the image again, just so you can see, compare a little bit with the diecast. Yeah, it's just a copy from the Takumin Crew Chief from last year, but obviously let's not go into the rabbit hole, because then we are talking for an hour here, and I don't want to stretch it as long as that. I'm already stretching it way too long, as I should actually. But yeah, that's beside the point. The point is that Fiberfuel is, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of the most cars collectors, that he or she, I should say, is the highlight of the entire year. Nothing that I will be yapping about here will be better or more exciting than the Fiberfuel Crew Chief. I can already guarantee that to you guys. So yeah, I guess our job is finished here with the singles. Let's continue onto the pretty controversial race and rescue line right now. Hello. Congratulations that you've made it this far into the video. That means that you're a real one. I am Cars Belgium, speaking from the future to inform you that finally the first part of my 2025 Cars Diecast Mainline poster breakdown has just ended. So don't worry, I will finally let you go. But yeah, initially this video would still be going on for 15 minutes longer about the race and rescue line, because of course I have so much to say about that. But yeah, I really can't upload a video of 1.5 hours just me talking about the freaking Cars poster. I don't even know how I managed to talk so long about that. But yeah, it is what it is. And as an emergency solution, I guess you could say, I decided to separate the entire video into 2 different parts, Of course, the first part that we have just discussed here is about the entire singles lineup, not including the Race and Rescue line, but just about the movies and the series. And then, of course, the video, or the second part, which I'll be uploading in a few days here, will be just about the Race and Rescue line, and also about the entire my final opinion and my final rating on the entire main line of 2025 in general. So yeah, I hope you're still looking forward to that part. I guarantee you that it's going to be very interesting. But for now, as I said, I will let you go. So I quickly wanted to address here, thank you all so much for watching this video. It really means a lot if you have managed to continue until the end here. So thank you so much. Don't forget to leave any support. It's always highly appreciated. And then I would like to see you back in a few days here for part 2. This is GRC Belgium signing out.